Joining us now on the Megacast is a board member and the managing director for the Kirk Gibson Foundation for Parkinson. Steve Annear joins us now on the Megacast. Steve, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate having you on as well. So first off, tell us about your journey to being involved with the Kirk Gibson Foundation for Parkinson's. How did you get in contact with this organization? And then, of course, get involved now as a board member and the managing director.
Well, I met Kirk on a golf course, and I happened to be playing alongside a group of people, and they recognised him as he was coming off the last tee, and he came over and said hello to everybody. And I, coming from Australia as I have, I didn't know who he was, so I had to go home and Google him and find out what all the fuss was about. And from that first meeting, we started playing golf together. I'm an amputee, and he has Parkinson's disease, so we compete pretty heavily together, and we became good friends. And I asked him if there was something I could do to help his foundation. I just was very inspired by Kirk and what he was doing to help people with Parkinson's disease, particularly those in Michigan. And so from that offer came more involvement in the foundation, and eventually a seat on the board, and now as managing director.
And so as managing director, was some of the roles that you covered to help this organization push its message forward and help a lot of people too that are afflicted with Parkinson's disease?
Yeah, I think part of my contribution has been to help the board and Kirk and his family think about how to best execute on Kirk's vision. And Kirk's vision, he really wants to help provide hope to people with Parkinson's and inspire them. He's a very inspirational person, you probably know. So he wanted to crystallise that vision into a plan of action. And so I've been working with the board to do that. And we now have a really clear plan of action that'll allow us to bring activity-based programs to people in Michigan who are living with Parkinson's disease, because we know that activity really helps the quality of life of those with Parkinson's. And there is a real gap between what is provided by insurance and the medical industry and what is needed by people with Parkinson's disease. So the goal of the foundation now in this area is to fill that gap.
So you mentioned, Steve, that not only are you training for a marathon, but you also mentioned you are an amputee, and you've been an amputee since you were at a young age. So training for a marathon, that's a daunting task for anybody, let alone someone that is an amputee. Let's just start from the start. When did this idea come to your mind of I'm gonna help this organization that I put so much of my heart and my efforts and my expertise into by running a marathon?
So ever since I lost my leg, which I was 11 when that happened, I've kind of been motivated to challenge myself, and I'm constantly doing that in all aspects of my life. And there is a group of people that run every year called Team 23. So these are people that are inspired by the foundation and Kirk's work and want to contribute to it by raising money through joining Team 23 and running a marathon and challenging themselves. So while I don't have Parkinson's disease, I thought, well, I'll be doing this on crutches. This is how I spend my life, is on crutches. And I thought I would have a go at this and just see whether I can do it. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's not really running. It's kind of more kind of fast walking on crutches. I think it'll take me well over the 7 hours that the course is open. So I'll be coming home while the course is being cleaned up, I think, and hopefully I am coming home and making it across that finish line. So I'm just very fired up to do it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And there are now over 80 runners that have joined Team 23. So we've got a great group that are out there, kind of competing on behalf of the foundation.
And so what is the goal with this run of yours and others on Team 23 doing this marathon? Obviously, you want to raise that awareness for the Kirk Gibson Foundation for Parkinson's and for Parkinson's patients and the life that they go through with this condition. But you also have other goals as well. What are some of those goals, and how can people out in the community that are watching or listening today learn more and help out if they can?
Yeah, so there's a couple of answers to that question. Firstly, our goal is to show that we believe a lot is possible despite, so-called disabilities affecting our life. So a marathon or a half marathon or a 10K. I mean, these are great challenges for people that are have not done them before or are mobility impaired. So that's one thing, that's the message, that we can get out there and have a real go in both in a marathon and in life. Secondly, is if people are interested to help us, our goal is to raise $100,000. And we've got a GoFundMe account, which they can access through our website, the kirkgibsonfoundation.org. And we would really encourage people and love people to support us financially to raise this $100,000. That's a wonderful thing. Thirdly, if anybody is really interested in helping the foundation and contributing their skills to the foundation, they can contact me through the website. And I'd love to talk to anybody that would like to volunteer their time to help us move the foundation and its activities forward.
We're joined by Steve Annear. He is the managing director and board member for the Kirk Gibson Foundation for Parkinson's, joining us today on the Megacast. You can again find more information on their website, kirkgibsonfoundation.org. That is kirkgibsonfoundation.org for more information. You go to their homepage, and right there on the homepage, there's information about Steve and Team 23's aim to not only run this marathon and raise awareness for Parkinson's and for the Kirk Gibson Foundation, but also to raise $100,000 in the process. You can join in on the festivities and help them out by going to their website, kirkgibsonfoundation.org. They've already raised $8,220 out of that $100,000 with just 24 donations so far. So you can contribute to that. So plenty of time left to contribute to that GoFundMe as they prepare for the Detroit Free Press Marathon on October 16th. Steve, how much of a factor did it play into to have this fundraiser happen for this particular marathon in the city of Detroit, where Kirk has made such a great contribution over his many years, and of course, this being his home state here in Michigan?
Yeah, that's really important to us, and I think that's why there's been so much people joining Team 23 and getting involved in this event, which we've been doing every year, and every year it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Kirk is a Michigan hero, but I don't have that background and history of watching him play baseball. For me, his heroism is in the way that he fights Parkinson's disease every day, but also the way that he really, he will talk to anybody and help anybody that reaches out to him that needs help. He is such a compassionate person. He's such a giving person of his time and his energy and his financial strength. So he's a wonderful person. And so thank you so much for highlighting what we're doing with Team 23 in the marathon, and hopefully we can get some support today.
Again, the website, kirkgibsonfoundation.org, kirkgibsonfoundation.org. Team 23 will be participating in this year's Detroit Free Press Marathon, Sunday, October 16th, downtown. Sunday, October 16th. If you want to go cheer on Team 23, another great way you can cheer them on from the race or from home, it's at kirkgibsonfoundation.org. Right at the top of their website, one team, one goal, defeat Parkinson's. There will be a link to click on to go to their GoFundMe as they try to raise $100,000 to go toward their battle against Parkinson's on their website, kirkgibsonfoundation.org. And you mentioned that Team 23, Steve, continues to grow. If people want to join Team 23, either for this year or in the future for other marathons and fundraising efforts, how can they go about doing that?
And we'd love to have them for sure. Yeah, thanks. So they can just contact us through the website, and things are explained pretty well there. So that's the best way to get in touch with us.
kirkgibsonfoundation.org/contact for that. They have a fill-out form right there, as well as some frequently asked questions about the organization, as well as kirkgibsonfoundation.org/contact. We're joined by Steve Annear. He is the managing director and one of the board members for the Kirk Gibson Foundation. With us on today's edition of the Megacast, he is one of also the members of Team 23. Will be running the Detroit Free Press Marathon on Sunday, October 16th. Here in our local area. And Steve, beyond the fundraiser here and the Detroit Free Press Marathon, what are some other efforts that are currently being worked on by the Kirk Gibson Foundation to raise funds and raise awareness for Parkinson's here in Michigan?
Yeah, so the focus of the organization is really centered on what we can do to bring these activity-based programs to Michigan. So we have been researching the market and what else is happening in the US to do this, and looking for best practice. So we want to provide best practice to people that do have Parkinson's disease here, and we're working on those programs now. So over the next couple of years, we'll be rolling out those programs into the Michigan communities and provide that access free, as much as we possibly can, free to people that have Parkinson's. So these are exercise programs such as boxing, such as yoga, such as Tai Chi, such as vocal exercises and diaphragm strengthening exercises are very important for Kirk as a commentator, that really have been proven to help people fight off the effects of Parkinson's disease. So the cure for the disease may be some time away yet, and there are many organisations, including Michael J. Fox's organisation, that are working on the cure. What we're trying to do is help people live with the disease and live a great life with the disease. And Kirk's very inspirational in the way he personally goes about that. So that's the primary set of activities that we're focused on right now. The second thing is, you spoke about awareness. So we want people who have the disease and their carers and their families to be aware of the resources available to them, and also to help them as a support network, so that they can understand there are other people going through the same journey as they are, not just as the person with the disease, but also their caregivers and their families, who can be very, very heavily affected when this happens to a family member. So building a stronger support network, and there are other organisations in the community in Michigan that are looking after this as well, but joining with them and building a stronger support network. And then the third thing is to be an advocate in the medical and insurance industry, which is a longer term program for us, to look for better support for people that do have the disease. So there's very limited insurance company support right now. So if somebody's diagnosed with the disease, that insurance doesn't kick in for very long. So what we want to do is to expand the cover that people have, and so that they can have their care funded for a longer period of time. So they're the three things: exercise-based programs, being a support network, and advocating for better financial support.
We're joined by Steve Annear. He is the managing director as well as a board member for the Kirk Gibson Foundation for Parkinson's, joining us today on the Megacast. Again, you can contribute to Team 23, inquire about joining them at this year's Detroit Free Press Marathon, as well as other future events, and of course contribute to the $100,000 fundraising goal for this Detroit Free Press Marathon, happening on Sunday, October 16th, by visiting kirkgibsonfoundation.org. kirkgibsonfoundation.org. It's right there as you go to their homepage. All the information you need to learn about their efforts at the marathon, Steve's efforts at the marathon, and their goals to raise $100,000 by October 16th. Help them out. kirkgibsonfoundation.org. Steve, anything else we should know about the work being done at the Kirk Gibson Foundation at this time, or anything else we haven't discussed today?
I think we've covered it really well, and I really do appreciate your time. It's a wonderful organisation that is really, I think it is spending money wisely, the money that we raise through the various events that we do, and the wonderful benefactors that we have. So we're very careful about where that money goes and how it's spent. We don't like to spend a lot of money on fundraising, but rather to put that money into action. And we're going to do that increasingly with greater impact. There's 33,000 people that have Parkinson's disease in Michigan. And so being able to impact their lives in a positive way is a wonderful outcome for the organisation. And we're very driven by that. Kirk is really increasing the strength of the team that's involved, and we're becoming more and more impactful, which is wonderful.
Steve, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for telling us more about everything happening at the Kirk Gibson Foundation, and of course, your efforts with the upcoming Detroit Free Press Marathon.
Thanks, Todd. I really appreciate your time.